Good afternoon. I want to welcome everyone here from the American Public University System Symposium today at this conference. My name is Megan Bigelow, and I will be presenting Jeffrey K. McKee's book, Sparing Nature, The Conflict Between Human Population Growth and Earth's Biodiversity. The following presentation, I will be introducing the history of the book and the background of Jeffrey K. McKee. The following presentation, I will be elaborating on the effects his book had on the field of environmental science. The following presentation, I will be identifying the key themes of Sparing Nature, the conflict between human population growth and Earth's biodiversity. Jeffrey K. McKee wrote this book in order to investigate the cause and effect relationships between the growth of human population and biodiversity loss. Jeffrey K. McKee has an ambition of demonstrating nature is too sparing to contain both a generous, diverse living world and promptly developing variety of people. In the beginning of his book, McKee explores the past to discover that humans and their ancestors have had an adverse impact on species biodiversity for almost 2 million years, and that extinction rates have increased since the origins of agriculture. McKee walks readers through the interdependence within the living world to show the meaning and value of biodiversity, creating the intricacy of technical research and scientific controversies available to the readers. McKee concludes with his book with an objective look at the means to stop the development of human population by lowering fertility rates, along with protect the idea that the population growth must be stopped in order to rescue biodiversity. To the right is a picture of the author, Jeffrey K. McKee. Jeffrey K. McKee is a professor in the Department of Anthropology and Evolution, Ecology, and Organism Biology at the University of Ohio State. Jeffrey K. McKee has led excavations at the South American fossil sites of Tuong and Makapansgat. Jeffrey K. McKee is also the author of The Riddle Change, which is about human evolution, and is co-author of Understanding Human Evolution. Jeffrey K. McKee focuses and concentrates on researching hominin evolution, African paleoecology, human population density, and extinction and evolution theory. After Jeffrey K. McKee earned his PhD from the University of Washington in 1985, Jeffrey K. McKee spent nearly a decade conducting research on human evolution and paleoecology in Africa. To the right is a book he wrote in 2000, which was called The Riddle Change and was about human evolution. Following the publishment of The Riddle Change, Jeffrey K. McKee felt his last chapter was unfinished. A few years later, he found his missing link was human population growth and Earth's biodiversity, which pushed Jeffrey K. McKee to publishing Sparing Nature in 2005. The key themes mentioned in McKee's book include environmental protection, natural resource use, exploitation, and degradation. Jeffrey K. McKee's main topic of his book is discussing the human population growth and Earth's biodiversity, which means there is an increased demand for supplies. This relates to the key themes of resource over exploitation and automatically leads to degradation of the biodiversity, which was mentioned earlier. Environmental protection is the practice of conserving the natural environment by individual organizations and governments. Environmental protection has objectives of protecting natural resources and the existing natural environment and, where possible, to rehabilitate destruction. To the right is a few examples such as acid rain, deforestation, health and safety issues, which is examples of why the environment needs protection. Exploitation is the action of making use and benefiting from resources. The exploitation of natural resources is one of the key themes in Jeffrey K. McKee's book. The exploitation of natural resources is the utilization of natural resources for economic growth, sometimes with a negative overtone of accompanying environmental degradation. These natural resources include fossil fuels, which consist of oil, coal, and gas. A few causes of exploitation include deforestation, urbanism of human life, the increase of timber for construction, which has resulted in heavy cutting of trees. Mining has caused a significant amount of soil erosion. Mining and deforestation have caused landslides. Irresponsible humans have caused forest fires all over the world. Human activities has caused harmful organisms, which has taken a toll on the environmental quality. Degradation is the deterioration of the environment through depletion of sources such as air, water, and soil. The destruction of ecosystems, habitat destruction, the extinction of wildlife, and pollution. Jeffrey K. McKee discusses throughout the book causes of environmental degradation is land disturbance, pollution, overpopulation, landfills, deforestation, and natural causes. That's why I really like this picture, because it shows fires, deforestation, oil, and pollution. Jeffrey K. McKee also discusses the effects of environmental degradation throughout his book, which include impact on human health, loss of biodiversity, ozone layer depletion, economic impact, and loss for tourism industry. So what has science said about McKee's key themes? It is understood that in all last major international meetings on environmental issues, there are strong tensions between rich and poor countries. The highly developed want to impose measures that protect the environment, but that hinder the development of the poor or impose models of life not in accordance with their cultures. The poorest report that environmental deterioration is mainly due to the consumption and waste of resources of the richest, and additionally that they are the ones who have to put the means to curb environmental damage. The growth of the world population, which has been explosive in the 20th century, is slowing down more quickly than anyone suspected a few years ago, and accordingly to relatively probable estimates will stabilize at about 11 billion citizens. Global birth policies have no meaning in situations that are totally different in some countries and others. Some of the problems is excessive population growth, while other problems is the aging of the population. The reduction of global environmental damage can only come through the development of a less consumerist and wasteful society, which takes advantage of resources much more effectively. The impact on the environment is multiplied by two reasons. Due to the population growth, because more people expect more consumption of resources and greater production of waste. We must understand that in accordance with reality, the population will grow as expected in the next 15 or 20 years with very little chance of change. For the growth of a wasteful and consumer life system that increasingly produces more waste and consumers for more resources per person. As we have seen, the United States, with 4% of the world's population, produces more than 20% of the carbon dioxide. 20% of the rich population of the world consumes 80% of commercial energy and raw materials, among many other examples that we could cite. It is difficult to imagine that with the rate of consumption of the average American citizen, the planet can endure without a very serious deterioration. Not only 11,000 million, but not even the current 6 million or even half of them. Environmental science is the study of relations between the natural world and organisms in this world. These relations may be linked to the use of resources, protection, conservation, along with others. Those were the key themes that was discussed previously. The key themes in Jeffrey K. McKee's books relate to the study of resources in the sense they have gone over the utilization of these resources which are provided by nature. Nature is a component of environmental science. Thus, this is a method to go about the case Jeffrey K. McKee analyzes throughout his book. The relations Jeffrey K. McKee discusses may be linked to the utilization of resources, protection, conservation, along with others. Thus, the impacts caused by a rapid growing population show such relationships. After reading this book, we know Jeffrey K. McKee has an ambition of supporting his hypothesis that there is a long-standing relationship between human population growth and the loss of planet and animal biodiversity worldwide. Throughout the book, I noticed McKee input many ideas of famous scientists such as Charles Darwin, Paul Ehrlich, and E.O. Wilson. Jeffrey K. McKee discusses many theories throughout his books. However, they all end up relating to the two trends of human population growth and the loss of biodiversity. Jeffrey K. McKee begins with our pre-human ancestors and ends the book discussing the present day. I must say, at first, when I first started reading this book, I was hesitant on his trends and his hypothesis. However, if you bear with the book and you read through the book after research and analyzing the facts, I agree with his hypothesis. McKee's 3 propositions in his book are: there is a very close relationship between biodiversity loss and human population growth. The second one is: the most important conservation measure we can take is to slow to halt the growth of human population. And the third one is conserving biodiversity is vital to the health of our planet and consequently vital to us. In the end, these 3 propositions is based on Jeffrey K. McKee's beliefs. Humans are primarily responsible for the current biodiversity crisis. I want to thank everyone for coming here today to the conference. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Again, my name is Megan Bigelow, and I discussed Jeffrey K. McKee's key themes, the history, and what influences his sparing nature, the conflict between human population growth and Earth's biodiversity has on environmental science. Have a great day. Goodbye.